Good evening. The Dolores County Broadcasting Network presents the DCTV 4-H Evening News Program for Tuesday, October 18th, 2016. Camera people, Edward and Barry. Video engineer and producer, Russell. Sound engineer, Dan. Teleprompter, Myra. Prompter, Myra. News anchor and meteorologist, Keegan. And this is the sad news director, Dan, because the Jets are a lousy team, and all they're going to be after is a very high draft choice because they really stink. Okay, and now the news.
Good afternoon and welcome to the DCTV 4-H News and Weather Program. Help keep your kids' news show on the air by becoming a sponsor. To buy a sponsorship, just call 970-677-4119. Hello, I'm Keegan, and the following story is from the Durango Herald. Durango man starts golf clinic for those with disabilities. In the game of golf, it helps to eliminate distractions, focus on the ball, and execute brilliant hand-eye coordination. To bring all of those together can be difficult for anybody, but for those with cognitive or physical disabilities, the challenge can be even greater. Such was the case for Andy Asmuth, 35, of Durango, who at age 6 was involved in a car crash that left him with a traumatic brain injury and physical impairment, including the permanent loss of sight in his right eye. His 9-year-old brother died in the crash. "My left side was paralyzed. I was in a coma for a while," he said. "They didn't know if I would walk again, talk again, do any of that kind of stuff." After 10 to 15 years in special education classes and various forms of physical therapy, Asmuth has made a remarkable recovery. He now spends more than 40 hours a week volunteering to help people with cognitive and physical disabilities, mostly through Adaptive Sports Association, but also through a weekly golf clinic he started 4 years ago at Hillcrest Golf Club. The story is from the Cortez Journal. King cobra. The king cobra is a snake found predominantly in forests from India through Southeast Asia. The species is the world's longest venomous snake, with a length up to 18.5 to 18.8 feet. Despite the word cobra in its common name, this snake is not a member of the true cobras, which contains most cobra species, but the sole member of its own genus. It preys chiefly on other snakes and occasionally on some other vertebrates, such as lizards and rodents. The king cobra is a dangerous snake that has a fearsome reputation in its range, although it typically avoids confrontation with humans when possible. The king cobra is also culturally significant, with many legends and associations with Hindu gods around it in some Indian cultures. I apologize for my speaking inability. The king cobra averages at 9.8 to 13.1 feet in length and typically weighs around 13 pounds. The longest known specimen was kept in captivity at the London Zoo and grew to around 18.5 to 18.8 feet before being euthanized upon the outbreak of World War II. The heaviest wild specimen was caught at the Royal Island Club in Singapore in 1951, which weighed 26 pounds and measured 15.7 feet, though an even heavier captive specimen was kept at New York Zoological Park and was measured at 128 pounds, probably 12.8 pounds, at 14.4 feet long in 1972. The length and mass of the snake highly depends on their localities and some other factors. Despite their large size, typical king cobras are fast and agile. The following story is from the Reader's Digest. Unluckiest dumb criminals ever. A 12-year-old boy adamantly denied having stolen an iPhone while questioned by police at his home. And then the iPhone rang in his closet. Okay, yes, he stole that. But as for the BlackBerry he was also accused of stealing, he double adamantly denied. Then, ring, busted again. And don't you hate it when you suffer a heart attack and you think you're going to die, so you confess to a 17-year-old murder, only to find out you're not going to die, and then get sentenced to a life in prison as a result. Yeah, so does James Washington of Nashville, because it happened to him. Now dumb laws in Connecticut. Town records may not be kept where liquor is sold. You can be stopped by the police for biking over 65 miles an hour. In order for a pickle to be officially considered a pickle, it must bounce. It is illegal to dispose of used razor blades. It is illegal to discharge of a firearm from a public highway. In Devon, it is unlawful to walk backwards after sunset. In Hartford, you aren't allowed to cross a street while walking on your hands. You may not educate dogs. And in New Britain, it is illegal for fire trucks to exceed 25 miles per hour, even when going to a fire. And now, the weather. And I'll be giving you the current weather report. The current temperature is 62 degrees. The high for today was 67 degrees. The low was 38 degrees. Winds are from 1 to 14 miles per hour from the south. The barometer is at 29.78 inches and is falling. The humidity is at 30%. Today there has been 0.001 of an inch of moisture measured by the DCTV weather station. Moisture for the month is 0.05 of an inch. And now here's our national weather outlook. There is rain and snow from Washington and Oregon east into South Dakota and Nebraska, as well into Utah and Colorado. Across at the west and central part of the country, it is pretty much clear. There is a band of rain from Arkansas and Missouri into Maine. More rain is falling along the Texas and Louisiana coasts and in South Florida. South of the band of rain starting in Arkansas and Missouri over the Atlantic coast is clear. And now I'll be giving you the 5-day forecast. Wednesday, sunny, high of 61, low of 20. Thursday, sunny, high of 64, low of 24. Friday, mostly sunny, high of 69, low of 29. Saturday, mostly sunny, high of 72, low of 32. And Sunday, mostly sunny, high of 72, low of 35. Now for our climate change report. I will be giving you the CO2 report as well. Carbon dioxide, CO2, is one of the principal causes of climate change, and it is important that we report the CO2 weekly change. CO2 traps heat in the atmosphere, which causes climate instability, resulting in significant swings worldwide of moisture and hot and cold temperatures. The following are the CO2 numbers for this week. CO2 for the week of October 15th, 2016 in parts per million is 401.57. CO2 2 weeks ago, 400.91. CO2 last year, 398.03. CO2 10 years ago, 378.99. CO2 50 years ago, 318.10. Thank you, Dr. Peter Tans of the National Oceanographic and Atmospheric Administration and Michael McGee of the CO2.Earth website for this information. Remember that you can help keep our Kids News Show on the air by buying a sponsorship. To buy a sponsorship, just call 970-677-4119. Thank you. Now back to our news director.
That's the end of today's DCTV 4-H news program. This is your very, very sad news director who is mourning the loss of the New York Jets, saying good night and thank you for watching.